Thank you, everyone, and welcome to the Aging Research Centre of Newfoundland and Labrador's virtual open house. We acknowledge that the lands on which Memorial University's campuses are situated are in the traditional territories of diverse Indigenous groups, and we acknowledge with respect the diverse histories and cultures of the Beothuk, Mi'kmaq, Innu, and Inuit of this province. My name is Dr. Veronica Hutchings, and I'm the Director of ARC-NL. And I am thrilled that you are all joining us here today. ARC-NL actually had an in-person conference planned for this past May, but as everyone is aware, 2020 rarely has gone according to plan. So we are still hoping and planning on holding a conference at some point in the future when it's safe for us all to gather in person to be able to share with you more details about the research that has been happening with ARC-NL. But there has been a lot that has happened in our first 2 years since we were publicly launched, and we really didn't want to wait any longer to share that with you, the people of Newfoundland and Labrador. So our plan for today is to tell you a little bit about the types of activities, the ways we're engaging with public, with older adults in Newfoundland and Labrador, talk to you a bit about the research that we've done, the types of research. And actually our research chair, Dr. Benjamin Zendel, is going to take you on a pre-recorded tour of our lab spaces that we have here. There is a lot of research that happens outside of the labs, but some of it does happen in labs, and so you get to see what those lab spaces are like. And then what we're going to do is end today's event with an announcement of the award recipients, the individuals who have received ARC-NL research grants and fellowships, and many of whom who are with us here today, and then announce our funding competition for next year. But to begin with, I actually, the other thing I should say is that we will have time for questions at the end. So those of you who are joining us via Facebook, I have some very trusty helpers who are monitoring those comments and chats and whatnot, and also on Twitter as well. So please feel free to, at any point in time, if we say something or if something comes to mind, just type that question in, and then one of my helpers will be able to read that to me or any one of the members of the panel and be able to get your questions answered at the end. Okay, so before we get into the meat of today's open house, I introduce to you Dr. Jeff Keshen, who is the Vice President of Grenfell Campus, to bring greetings to you from Memorial University.
There we are. Thanks, Veronica. Thank you, Dr. Hutchings. Thanks for the opportunity to say a few words and to recognize and to celebrate ARC-NL and the researchers that it supports, something that would not have been possible were not for the generous funding from a provincial government, for which we at Grenfell are very grateful. As the Centre applauds the extremely valuable and path-breaking scholarship is helping to facilitate, I would like to recognize and celebrate those who were and remain instrumental in ARC-NL's development and success. First and foremost is its wonderful director, Dr. Veronica Hutchings. I see your wonderful big smile there, and it's totally deserved. An expert in aging-related research, and who also provides absolutely invaluable service to vast numbers of younger people here through her leadership role in Grenfell's counseling and psychological service. As Dr. Hutchings often and generously states, the resounding success of this center also rests with, in particular, Dr. Karen Duty, who has provided invaluable support in numerous capacities, Dr. Kelly Vauden, Grenfell's Associate Vice President of Research and Graduate Studies, Dr. Stephen Bornstein, Professor and Director, Memorial University's Center of Applied Health Research, Dr. Benjamin Zendel, Canada Research Chair in Aging and Auditory Neuroscience, and a professor with MUN's Faculty of Medicine, and of course, retired Grenfell psychology professor Leslie Cake, who nearly 2 decades earlier proposed the idea of an aging research center and never wavered in his commitment to see it created. And apologies to anybody that I'd missed in making this center such a success. Grenfell's reputation for excellence is derived not only from what happens in the classroom, real, and now more than ever, of course, virtual, but also from the strong connections and commitment it has to serving communities, particularly in Western Newfoundland. It is well known, very well known, that an aging population presents an especially significant challenge in this province and in this region. The research being facilitated through the center will help all of us better serve that population so that the elderly live safer, healthier, and more fulfilling lives. My congratulations to all those involved in creating and growing ARC-NL, including the very talented researchers supported through this initiative. All of you truly are addressing critical social need and building more caring, compassionate, and a better province. So thank you very much. Veronica, the floor is back to you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Keshen. Yes, indeed, one individual, if I can bring them, we also have, in addition to Dr. Duty, our Grenfell Campus Coordinator is also Dr. Sharon Bueller, who's on with us today, who is our St. John's Coordinator. So I want to make sure that we recognize her as well. Next, actually, we had hoped actually that the Honourable Minister, Brian Warr, for Children, Seniors and Social Development, from whom has been very gracious in terms of their funding of ARC-NL, was going to be here today. Unfortunately, due to a conflict of interest, he's not able to, but he did send a pre-recorded greeting and message to us today. So we'll watch that now.
Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry I can't meet with you today, but I'm pleased to send remarks for your virtual open house. I would like to begin by recognizing ARC-NL's core leadership team, the Director, Dr. Veronica Hutchings, as well as Dr. Kelly Vodden, Dr. Benjamin Zendel, and Dr. Stephen Bornstein. Thank you all for supporting the advancement of seniors and aging research in Newfoundland and Labrador. The work of ARC-NL supports our government's efforts to better understand and plan for demographic change, as well as our commitment to healthy aging across the lifespan. Our government supports ARC-NL, and Budget 2020 has allocated $100,000 to assist ARC-NL in its efforts to address needs, issues, and opportunities of an aging society. As our demographics continue to shift in Newfoundland and Labrador, local primary research will be key to informing policies and programs that support healthy aging. I hope you all enjoy ARC-NL's virtual open house, and I wish you great success in your research projects. Thank you.
So that's wonderful news. Thank you, Minister. I know this is being recorded, so we really appreciate the ongoing support. And just shortly, we'll be able to tell you a little bit more what we intend to do with that additional contribution and what we've been doing with the money that the government has been giving us thus far. So to kick off our report, we actually have a short video. It's just a little bit of a teaser, just to give you an indication of what's to come in the report. So we'll watch that now. Okay, great. So bear with me. I'm going to try to share my screen here now so that you guys can hopefully see. All right. So you should be hopefully seeing the ARC-NL Virtual Open House and Awards announcement screen. All right, so let's go forward. So the mission of ARC-NL, as you was up briefly in that highlight video, is to foster collaboration between the Grenfell and St. John's campuses of Memorial University and create a provincial network of researchers studying late life issues in Newfoundland and Labrador. ARC-NL prioritizes knowledge mobilization and engagement with older adults. And this has been our goal all along. It's to bring all researchers within Newfoundland and Labrador together under one umbrella so that we can increase collaboration and research ideas and really try to foster and get more research on the go because our province is aging, right? That second part of our mission, prioritizing knowledge mobilization, engaging with older adults. We don't just want to do research for the sake of doing research. We want this research to be meaningful. And so because of that, we have a strong emphasis on including older adults at every part of the research process, right from the development of the question through to the end in disseminating and publishing those results. So we don't just want to write papers for academic journals, but we want to make sure that the research we do is communicated back to older adults in a way that is understandable to them. So who exactly is ARC-NL? Well, I'm not going to go through our names because they've been mentioned several times, but these are our pictures. This is your core leadership team. We meet on either a weekly or a bi-weekly basis, and really our purpose is to make key decisions about the activities and the direction of the center. That core leadership team, we report to a management board as well as an advisory council. So the management board meets twice a year, and that comprises of representatives from government, from senior administration at Memorial University, and its role is to oversee the activities of myself as director as well as the rest of my core leadership team and improve decisions on key administrative, strategic, and policies, the granting of awards and fellowships, and any financial matters over $10,000. The advisory council, that comprises of community members. So it's a lot of older adults representing various aspects and various facets, as well as researchers from other aging centers across Canada. They also meet twice a year, and the goal of that council is really to help connect us at ARC-NL with our community stakeholders to make sure that the research, that the engagement activities we're doing are relevant to older adults and that they are in the areas that they should be in and that we're studying the questions that are important. Of course, none of what we do would be possible without our incredible coordinators. So really, we have them at the bottom, and that's because everything we do rests with them. So Dr. Karen Duty is our Grenfell coordinator, and Dr. Sharon Bueller is our St. John's coordinator. And these are two incredible researchers who have been very dedicated to ARC-NL. Dr. Sharon Bueller for many years advocating for the establishment of our center. And although she only came on officially as coordinator last year, Dr. Duty has been with us shortly before we were publicly launched. So for the full 2 years that we've been in existence, and is really, truly, the two of them are I have two right hands. It wouldn't be possible without them. So that's in terms of kind of that overarching in terms of keeping ARC-NL running. But who's doing the research? While yes, we, as members of the core leadership team, we are researchers, we have our own research projects on the go, but we also have 62 research members. So these are predominantly faculty at Memorial University. So these are individuals who have research defined as part of their career, as part of their job, their position. We also have 28 student members. So these are students at Memorial who are studying aging. We have 52 community members, last count, but that is growing. So community members is basically anyone who is interested in aging. So whether that's because you're aging yourself or you have family members who are aging, or maybe it's a professional interest, whether you're a lawyer or a doctor or even just any field really, working in retail, and you want to know more about how you can be more age-friendly in your engagements with your older clients. If you're interested in becoming a member, it's free. You can visit our website and download an application form or send us an email. The benefits of becoming a member is that we do give you a heads up in terms of all of our engagement activities. Whenever we do a public talk or an event, you'd get notifications. You also get a copy of our newsletter. So that's who we are. What have we done? Well, it was December the 11th, 2018, that we were publicly launched with an announcement from the then Minister of Children, Seniors and Social Development, Lisa Dempster. So that's a picture of all of us there at the public launch, right? Since then, we've continued to engage with the public. We've had actually over 200 phone calls, emails, and visits from the public, and that number was actually tabulated when we were only 18 months old. Things the last few months have been a little bit slower, not as much engagement with the public as in terms of particularly face-to-face interaction, because of course we are following the guidelines from public health. Prior to having things closed down, we had 14 public talks and events, including attending the Newfoundland and Labrador 50 Plus Federation. That was last September in Gander, and you can see there that two of the members were actually, Arcanel was a sponsor of that conference, and we had donated some reusable, some tote bags for them to use, so the Arcanel tote bags there. We also have a participant database that's close to 100 people. So a lot of times people say, oh, research, that's really interesting. I'd love to participate, but I don't know how to get invited. If that's something that you're interested in and is becoming a research participant, you can sign up to be registered with our participant database. So this is a little bit different than the membership. While the membership, with your consent, we would advertise that on our website, the membership database, or the participant database, sorry, is tightly guarded, that information. And we keep your contact information and a few demographics private, so that approved researchers, Arcanel research members who have gone through the appropriate ethics processes, that have their research projects vetted and make sure it's above board and appropriate, they can then apply, and we would release that list of individuals' names and contact information to them. The researchers would then contact you if you're meeting the demographic needs, the characteristics that they're looking for, and they would explain to you their research study and ask you if you want to volunteer to participate. Some of these studies individuals are compensated financially for participating. Other times it's a volunteer. Sometimes it happens in a lab. Sometimes it's a questionnaire that gets mailed to you or that you might complete online. Sometimes the researcher would go to your home and interview you at your kitchen table. So it really depends on what the research project is and what the research question is. But if that's something that you're interested in, again, there's information about that on our website, or you can certainly call or email us. So leading into that research, well, what are the research activities? We have given out of $134,000 in fellowships. We've had two fellowship competitions. The first gave out $50,000, and this year, which we'll be announcing those recipients shortly, an additional $84,000 in fellowships. $118,000 in grants, so $68,000 in our first year, and this year another $50,000. We also signed an agreement with CABI, which is the Center for Aging and Brain Health Innovation. They are a group that's based in Toronto, but have a pan-Canadian mandate to fund research that looks at aging and brain health innovation. And prior to us signing that partnership, there had actually never been a research team from Newfoundland and Labrador that had applied. But within a couple of months, not only did we have teams from Newfoundland applying, but actually had one be successful in receiving a grant from CABI, which is the Smart Aging Project that's being run out of Western Health here in Corner Brook. We also participate regularly in the CIHR, which is the Canadian Institutes for Health Research. They have an Institutes of Aging, and we participate regularly. They have biannual meetings. One of them is in person, one of them is virtual. This year they've all been virtual, where we talk about aging trends in research across Canada. The most recent one, which was held last month, actually looked at the Canadian research dementia strategy, the dementia research strategy for Canadians and internationally. So we're participating in that as well. We also attend research conferences, and this picture here is actually the delegation from Arcanel that participated in the Canadian Association of Gerontology conference that happened last October in Moncton. And so, as I mentioned, all of these researchers, some of these happen in people's homes, some of them happen in labs. And so ArcNL actually has two specific labs. There's one, the ARC Lab, that's based in Corner Brook at Grenfell campus, and there's the CAN Lab that's based in St. John's. And so our research chair, Dr. Zendel, is now going to show you, tell you a little bit about those spaces through this virtual tour. I have to stop sharing my screen now. If I can find my cursor to hit that button, which I cannot, there it is. All right, so I'll stop.
Welcome to the Aging Research Center Laboratory, or ARC Lab. ARC Lab is the main research space for the Aging Research Center Newfoundland and Labrador at Grenfell campus in Corner Brook. ARC-NL has a special mission to serve older adults in Newfoundland and Labrador. To engage older adults, we prioritize community involvement in the research process. ARC Lab is open for researchers of all types to generate knowledge that can improve our understanding of the aging process and improve quality of life for older adults. Some researchers ask older adults questions to better understand what aging is like for you. Other researchers study biological changes that happen as we age. Declining cognitive abilities are a significant concern for many older adults. At ARC Lab, we study how aging changes the brain using electroencephalography, or EEG. EEG allows us to see your brain waves and is recorded using multiple electrodes affixed to a tight-fitting cap. By asking research participants to perform complex cognitive tasks, we can better understand how aging impacts cognitive abilities and the associated brain structures. Our scientists are some of the best in the world. They spend countless hours analyzing and reviewing data so that our research findings can benefit older adults in Newfoundland and Labrador and around the world. Welcome to the Cognitive Aging and Auditory Neuroscience Laboratory, also known as the CAN Lab. CAN Lab is the main research lab for ARC-NL at the St. John's campus. At CAN Lab, we study how aging impacts the ability to hear. One of our most important research findings is that playing a musical instrument may protect against hearing loss in older adults. Our research relies on volunteer participants like you. If you are interested in participating in a research project, please join our participant database. One of the most important organs for hearing is your brain. At CAN Lab, we can record how your brain responds to different sounds using EEG. One of the most common hearing difficulties reported by older adults is a difficulty understanding speech when there is background noise. Many of our studies explore how your brain separates speech from background noise.
Screen colds and fevers.
ARC-NL prioritizes training the next generation of scientists. Our students are trained to use state-of-the-art analysis techniques so they are well prepared for careers in healthcare, academia, or industry. To learn more about the Aging Research Center Newfoundland and Labrador, ARC Lab, or CAN Lab, please see our website.
Great, thank you. And so now, last year we had an event. It was a reception that was cross-campus. I believe we thought it was the first cross-campus virtual awards ceremony that we had. So we had the two places were connected, and where we had the grants and fellowship recipients in St. John's, they gathered in a room in St. John's. And the grant and fellowship recipients from Grenfell campus, they gathered in a room here, and we were connected virtually using video conferencing. This year, we're spread all over the province. So, but we're going to move into that right now. And so what I will do, as I announce your name, I will ask you, because I have a number of the recipients with me here today. Not all of them were able to join us, unfortunately. But as I announce your name, if you would please unmute yourself and turn on your camera and actually say something. Because we're going through Facebook Live, apparently it will only pick up the camera if there's actually some audio noise coming from it. So when I say your name, I'll get you to say, some type of a word so that the camera recognizes you, and all the people out watching this through the Facebook live stream will be able to see you. So the first name that I have here, I'm going to announce the 2020 ARC&L funded Master's Fellowships, and the first name that I have is actually Ms. Delaney Drakes. So she's doing a Master of Experimental Psychology, and her supervisors are Dr. Jonathan Fawcett and Emily Fawcett, and she's looking at anxiety and depression and rheumatoid arthritis across the lifespan.
Thank you so much, Veronica. It's truly humbling to be selected as one of the fellows this year at the master's level, and as an emerging scholar, and for the research I propose. So I'm quite excited and to continue to be working on this. Thank you so much.
Great. Thanks so much, Delaney. How about Ms. Sarah Torville? I can't see everybody's name here. If Sarah Torville is there.
Hi. Thanks.
Fabulous. Okay. So Sarah is doing her master's in neuroscience, and the role, there we go, there's a little bit of feedback there, but Sarah's doing her master's in neuroscience, looking at the role of environmental factors on progression of Alzheimer's disease in a rat model. So congratulations, Sarah.
Thank you.
All right. Did Tristan Critch, were you able to join us? I don't think so, but Tristan is doing his master's in medicine and neuroscience, and he's looking at the different roles of L-type calcium channels in different learning models. So those are our master's fellowships. The 2020 ARC&L funded PhD fellowships, Kazim Adefemi. Kazim, are you with us today? Yes, I see your name there, so I'll get you to turn your camera on.
Hi, this is Kazim. I am really excited to be an awardee, and I look forward to working with ARC&L. Thank you.
Great, thanks so much. So Kazim is doing his PhD in Community Health and Humanities, and is looking at, his research question is, do age and comorbidity status affect colorectal cancer screening among elderly Newfoundland and Labrador population? We also have Ms. Tiffany Fillier, who's doing the PhD in Environmental Science. I saw Tiffany's name there somewhere, so if Tiffany can turn on your microphone and camera.
Hi, I'm here. Thanks so much for the opportunity to work with you guys. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I can't wait to continue doing that with my research.
Great. Thanks so much, Tiffany.
Thank
and
you.
her research is looking at brain health consequences of treatment with gut microbial metabolites. This is Mr. Zia Hassan. I hope I've pronounced your name correctly.
Yep. Thank you so much.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. So he's doing his PhD in neuroscience and is looking at the effects of early life events in rat pre-tangled tau model. Congratulations.
Yeah, you're right. Hi, everyone. My name is Jia, and I'm from Dr. Chion's lab from the Memorial University, and I'm from the neuroscience department. And nice to meet you all.
Great. Thanks so much. And we also have Abdullah Saif, who's doing his PhD in Community Health and Humanities. Abdullah, I'm trying to see if I can see your name there. I'm not sure. Might not have been able to join us, but his PhD is looking at the exploring the role of the arts in improving the quality of life among older adults living with diabetes, which is, of course, really important, particularly in our province. So congratulations to all our fellowship winners. Yay! We're thrilled to be able to support you and are really excited to see what great discoveries and new things that you'll be learning on your journey. We also, of course, so those are the fellowships. We also have research grants that we award to researchers at, research members who are studying aging. And so the 2020 ARC&L funded research grants, the first one I have is Dr. Fabien Bassett. I don't think he was able to join us today, though. I could be wrong. I'm not seeing him turn his microphone or camera on. He comes from the School of Human Kinetics and Recreation. And his research project is looking at the physical health assessment program for older adults. We also have with us Dr. Jue Gao, I hope I've pronounced your name correctly, from Clinical Epidemiology. I did see that name there somewhere. You can turn your microphone. Can you turn your microphone on as well?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can now.
Excellent.
Great.
Yeah. Thank you
Great.
very much. Glad to be here and nice
Great.
to meet you guys.
Wonderful. So his research is looking at the burden of multimorbidity and the associated risk factors among seniors in Canada. So thank you so much for joining us today, and congratulations. We also have Dr. Deborah Kelly, who is with us today. So I'll ask you to turn your microphone and camera on.
Hi there.
Great. Thank you so much. So she's from the School of Pharmacy at Memorial, and the title of her project was Taking an In-Depth Look at Seniors and Their Medication Use with an Aim to Reduce the Cost Burden, which is, of course, a huge issue not only in Newfoundland but around the world in terms of polypharmacy and the overprescriptions of medications for seniors. So we're really looking forward to seeing the results of that work when that comes out.
Well, on behalf of the research team and our team here at the Medication Therapy Services Clinic, we're delighted. Thank you so much to ARC-NL for your support.
Thank you. We also have with us, I saw him here earlier, although I don't see his name right now, Dr. Brian Stavely from the Department of Biology. If you could turn on your microphone and your camera.
There we are. I am very glad to be with you guys. My lab has been studying aging in fruit flies for years and years, and I'm very happy to be part of your group. Your funding will contribute to the graduate students that are working in my lab right now, and they are maybe not in the lab right now, but they will be really soon, and they're preparing for it as soon as we can get in, they will be doing the experiments that we've outlined. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And so his project is Living Better Longer and Living Longer Better, Lessons from Fruit Flies. So again, we're thrilled to have you with us. And we also have with us today Dr. Robert Wilson from the Faculty of Medicine. If you could turn your camera and microphone on.
Hi, Veronica.
Hello. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, and thank you to ARC-NL for this for the funding opportunity. We're very excited to start this project, and thanks to this, we'll be able to kickstart this. We've been talking about this for years, and ironically enough, Dr. Debbie Kelly will be working with me on this.
Fantastic. And so their project is actually understanding the healthcare process for the vulnerable elderly surrounding the comprehensive geriatric assessment, which is, of course, extremely important because as we age, things do get more complicated. And it's trying to be able to do a comprehensive assessment can help answer some of those health questions. So congratulations. Yay to all of the grant and the fellowships recipients. I'm so glad that you're able to be here with us today, and I'm really excited to look forward, even though the research may be a little bit delayed, as we try to navigate these times and making sure that everything goes smoothly and that it's done safely. We're looking forward to those and hearing the results of these studies at the ARC-NL conference whenever we're able to do that. Okay. So next is where we're going, and so I need to find where I can share my video again. There it is. So I'm going to share this. So that's where we've been, what we've done. Now, where are we going? So with this new contribution that the government just announced today, how are we going to spend that? What are we doing? Where are we going? All right. So, well, as a research center, obviously, we want to continue to be able to do this work. We want to continue to be able to support these exceptional researchers and students as they learn more about aging. And so, we're exploring sources of longer-term permanent funding for our center. And we also, you may have noticed that there's a lot of emphasis on health research there, which we're really excited about. But we'd also like to look at some more research that is specific to Newfoundland and Labrador, particularly when we're talking about aging in place, social isolation, the digital divide, looking at age-friendly communities, those types of things. So we've actually recently put out a posting for a postdoc to recruit a postdoc fellow, which some of you may have seen. We've just started to review the applications for that. And we really want to increase some research specific to Newfoundland and Labrador. And so in that regard, we are going to continue to offer fellowships. So for those research and student members who may be joining us today, if you go to our website right here, and this same www.grenfell.mun.ca/arc, and that's the same thing for those of you who are interested in membership that I mentioned earlier. You can click there for membership. For the funding calls, you can click here for funding, and that will take you to our calls that are just open today. So the 2021 call for fellowships is now officially open. So we have one-year doctoral fellowships that is valued up to $24,000. As well as one-year master's fellowships that are valued up to $18,000. So again, you can visit our website for application details there for any of students who are on the line with us. For the researchers, it's a little bit different this year. In the past, the maximum budget that we had for a research grant was $10,000. This year, in an effort to try, because we recognize that community-based research can be more expensive, we have upped the value of the research grants to $25,000. So for the 2021 call for research grants, the $25,000 research grant is for your typical research proposal that you want to study some aspect related to aging. You'll also see on my slide there, though, that we also have development grants, which is something new that we've started this year, because we also want to encourage and increase the number of researchers who are studying aging. So we also have development grants, which are valued up to $7,500. Right? And the development grants, these are going to be awarded to support the development of effective research teams and proposals in Newfoundland and Labrador that are capable of obtaining funding from national and international granting agencies in the area of aging. So for more details and as well for the application forms for either of those grants, you can go to our website there. And again, this is what our website looks like. Now, coming to the end of our session for today, so hopefully, please, if you've had questions, been typing them in. Something that you may have noticed, I had mentioned earlier that we are posting for a postdoc. Some of you might have also noticed that we have also posted for the coordinator position at our Grenfell campus. And that is because the amazing Dr. Duty is actually leaving us at the end of next month. I'm very, very sad to say. She has been a phenomenal support, and without her, my role, as Dr. Kesha mentioned, I'm actually split half-time as director of ARC, half-time as a psychologist in counseling and psychological services. So without the support of Karen, I really would not have been able to do everything that we've been able to accomplish and to do over the past couple of years. So I really want to thank you, Dr. Judy, for all of your incredible hard work. You have been, one of the key backbones in terms of getting ARC up and off the ground over the last 2 years. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thanks, Veronica.
She's probably going to be mad at me for doing this, but anyways, I don't care. And so that is actually the end of our formal presentation, the formal part of our open house. Here is our website, as well as our email address if you have any questions. And right now I see that there was a comment there from Dr. Varden thanking Dr. Duty for all of her of what she's done. It kind of flashed up and then it went quickly away, but maybe if there's a way I can stop sharing my screen, I might be able to read that comment. So if there are questions from Twitter, from Facebook, anyone, we'd now love to take them. The message was from Dr. Vaden. Thanks so much, Dr. Duty, for everything you've done to ensure ARC-NL has had the many successes it has already.
And Veronica, this is Pamela monitoring the Facebook feed.
Yes.
Lots of best wishes, congratulations from loads of people. We have had an offer for a volunteer opportunity, which I forwarded on to Karen. So that's great to see that people volunteer. And just an all-around woohoo for the whole gang. As somebody said, the video was great that Will Pender put together. That's great. The presentation was great. Dr. Zandel's video is great. Just an all-around celebration here on Facebook.
Wonderful. And just so you know, in terms of that video that Dr. Zanel, that's actually the voiceover that's from our ITS department. So Steve Sharp, who is on with us today, he did that. He also did these fantastic 360-degree tours. So if you go to our website and you look under our resources, you can actually go in, because that video is more kind of like just action shots of different aspects of the lab. But if you go to our website, you can actually click in there and it will take you on like a tour, and it's like you're actually walking through the lab, and you can kind of go into the sound booths and whatnot. And as I said, that's only part of the research gets done in labs, but especially if you're if you're interested in research and like, oh, what's it like, or I'd like to, but I'm a little bit nervous, it gives you a bit of an idea of what that environment is if you are participating in a study that would be carried out at either the ARC lab or the CAN lab. You can kind of see and what the room looks like where you're headed. Anything from Twitterverse? I'm guessing not, but so I think the Facebook is more where most people were kind of engaging and following us.
No, I don't believe there's anything on Twitter.
Okay, nothing. All right. Well, in that case, I'm not going to keep you all because I know there's lots happening, and people, I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedules to be with us today to celebrate the grant and fellowship recipients, to celebrate research in aging in Newfoundland and Labrador. And I look forward to hopefully having an in-person event with you all very soon. So thank you once again to everybody who's been involved with this, with Pamela Gill, who's been monitoring Facebook, from Marcom, with Steve and Ed from ITS, of course my right hands, Karen and Sharon, and coordinators, and my fellow CLT members, Dr. Ben Zendel, Kelly Vaden, and Stephen Bornstein. Thanks so much, everyone. I wish you all a great day.